Guys, just had a great idea. Thought I'd sneak in this little thing before the webinar. If you go to ebay.com right now, you can have my gut sales training package. This is the full package. I sell it for $5.95. You'll see that on my web pages and on eBay. But if you go there now, I have 10 packages. You can bid them for as low as $297.50. Regularly a $5.95 package. I'll also include a free training session. So go to eBay right now. Type in Claude Diamond Sales Training or call 1-800-324-4652 and you can get this for half price. Enjoy the video, folks. Good selling. Everybody, this is Claude Diamond, and I made this little video or mini webinar if you want, and I'm going to break it up into different parts and place it out there on YouTube and my webpage and blogs and for my licensees, basically to teach you my gut sales method. I know of no other way to have the success that you want, the self-esteem, feel good about yourself, the income that you truly deserve, without a sales system. And this is going to be like a macro overview, chapter 1 if you want to call it that. I made it pretty simple. I did it low tech, not too many special effects here. I wanted to basically go over in a very short framework what the gut sales method is. First of all, I'm the author of a couple books on sales training and lease purchasing. My gut sales books are How to Sell with Guts, which is our manual, and The Mentor Teaches the Gut Sales Method. And I have, if you go to my web pages, claudediamond.com, or you go to YouTube, you're going to see excerpts of the book and things like that. The main book is a novel. It's kind of a Horatio Alger story about a guy who couldn't sell, and he meets his mentor. And I talk a lot about my mentor, Max, and how it basically turned my life around 180 degrees. And that's why I wanted to share this with you, because we're going to so many different seminars and reading a lot of books and tapes. I've been doing this business for over 26 years. I've been mentoring people for about 18, 19 years, and I find one thing in common. People have spent upwards of 6 figures, hundreds of thousands of dollars on books, tapes, and seminars. And they were well-intentioned. They really didn't want it so they can have 8 cars in the garage. They just wanted to take care of their families. They were motivated, self-motivated, and they spent this great deal of money, and they still didn't find the success. And I really believe that a couple things you need. You need a great sales method to be successful, and you need a mentor too, frankly. You need somebody who can kind of show you, someone who's accountable, who's been successful financially, and who can kind of take you by the hand, show you how to do this. GUT stands for great, unorthodox, untraditional techniques of sales. And I've asked myself a lot of questions, and I learned a lot of this GUT system from my mentor, Max. A lot of it I put in from my own experiences of being an investor for such a long time. A lot of it I learned from psychology studies about why do people buy from us? Why will they sell to us? How to control the whole situation. How to feel really great about ourselves, and how to work smart. GUTS is about all these things. You guys, any of you who followed me, you know I use a little 3-minute timer. I want to be able to qualify this prospect in a few minutes, okay? And make sure that if I'm working with somebody, I'm working towards a potential to do business. And if this is someone I can't work with, then I want to qualify them very quickly. So this is like chapter 1 of this. The question you want, we have to be really strong. There's so much to talk about. I'm sorry. There's so much to talk about this stuff. The skills of persuasion, to create that environment so that we can actually control, sales and have fun with it. That's a picture of my book or my package. I have it here. And I'll show you where to buy that later on at the end of this if you're interested. By the way, I'm going to say this at the beginning, I wish my competition would do it too. My name is Claude Diamond, and I answer my own phone. I really try to do that. All you got to do is dial 1-800-324 888-888-4652 if you have questions or something like that. You might occasionally get my secretary, my lovely wife, or a recording machine. Don't worry, we'll get back to you. But I really try to answer as many calls as possible every day. And so if you have a question or something about creative real estate or gut sales, please feel free to call me, okay? You can also pull me up on Skype. Just type in Claude Diamond. The GUTS method, I developed it. I broke it down into different parts, and I use a lot of different mind maps. GUTS is simply about working smart, about qualifying the prospect up front and feeling great about yourself. And forgive me if I repeat myself too often about this. I really think we need to feel good about ourselves, keep our self-esteem high, keep our ego high and strong. And I don't mean to be obnoxious or overbearing, but I think two things. If you've got to feel great about yourself, and you've got to understand why other people buy. Okay? And GUTS is built around that area. Now, here's my starting mind map real fast. I have things that are GUTS rules. These are things that we'll be talking about in future webinars. GUTS rules. These are the rules that make us strong in sales. We're not going to be begging. We don't give presentations. Any of you guys know. We do our closing up front. We close up front. We qualify up front. We don't even give a presentation unless we know we're going to make money today. We're going to work smarter than everybody else. I've studied a lot of very successful people. I've worked for successful people, and I have friends who are successful people in business. And there's a lot of, the common thing about these people is they are great communicators. They are great salespeople. And I don't mean they're the life of the party and all that stuff, but they know how to work so smart. Their powers, their skills, their tools of persuasion are so strong, and they work at it every day. Okay? I work at it every day. And these are the things that get you to the bank more often. You want to be the 1%er who makes money with a phone and selling your product and service, whether it's in creative real estate or life insurance or car sales or network marketing or whatever you do. You've got to be superb in sales, and you've got to have these tools, these powers of persuasion to get to the bank more often. And if you want to know why most people fail, it's not because of lack of trying or motivation or intelligence, or, and they have great products and things. It's because they don't have a GUTS sales plan, okay? GUTS allows us to have all the prospects we need. We'll talk about that in later webinars. GUTS allows us to feel good about ourselves and make money every day. Couple quick rules here that I'll give you off the top. Number one rule in GUTS is, why are we in business? We're in business to make money today, okay? A lot of people in sales trainers talk about tomorrow, missionary type sales. No, my bills come in every day, every week, every month. I need to focus a business plan on making money today. Rule number 2, what do we sell? Gives us a lot of people a lot of trouble, unfortunately. What do we sell? We sell solutions. One word answer. Okay? We sell solutions. If we can show people how to solve their problems in whatever, okay? In whatever our product or service provides, and we can get them emotionally involved strong enough, they will want to buy from us today. We don't have to sell, people want to buy. There's a whole philosophical difference. As you can see much lower down here, the philosophy about GUTS sales. We'll talk a little bit about that. We have our famous staircase: agenda, qualification, and close, or commitment close as we call it now. How do we use these 3 simple steps so that we're working smart, so we know in our head what to do when we meet people, and we don't have to give this silly presentation and get rejected all day long. I don't like it. I'm sure you don't like it. I want to work as a professional with people. I want to make significant profit, and I want to have fun while I'm doing this on the way to the bank. We've got to talk a lot about GUTS moves. There's a lot of different things we can do to make to finesse this technique to perfection. We have to have prospecting. We have to have more than enough prospects. One of the things I love to talk about, and we'll do that also in future chapters of this webinar, is how to get all the prospects you'll ever need. How to make the prospects come into your world. How to convert all this is the biggie, how to convert all cold calls to warm calls. Never make a cold call again, because you're going to treat all calls as warm calls. And that's one of the most that's probably one of the most important things I also teach too. The fuel that runs our Our staircase here gets you up to the higher staircase is questions. Knowing how to ask questions with what we call redirection. Redirection is asking questions. Gee, Mr. or Mrs. Prospect, if I could solve your problem, you wouldn't want to make a commitment today, would you? Or Mr. or Mrs. Prospect, if we could work out the money issue, you wouldn't want to do that today, would you? And getting those commitments, using a lot of reverse psychology blended into this, so it becomes so natural for you. It's a great deal of fun. So let's go to a few of the videos here. Once again, I have it broken down. Sales is now fun, profitable, and it's within your control. We need to learn the different sections. Obviously, the staircase is the most important. The rules of GUTS, our philosophy, prospecting, so we have all the prospects we'll ever need, GUTS moves, and questions. Well, we've got the GUTS method here. Whoops, went a little too fast here. GUTS, I told you, stands for Great Unconventional and Unorthodox Techniques of Selling. It's a method designed to combine the science and art of persuasion. It is broken down into many different parts. We'll start here with the GUTS philosophy. You're a professional. You get to act like one. And I'm just going to do this quick overview here. We have to take on, treat sales as a profession. We have to use our time, we have to really take care of our time, knowledge, and energy. These are our most valuable resources. We have to move smart. We have to stop this perception of sales as amateurs, as beggars. And we have to have control of the process. How many people go into sales, give their presentation, do a lot of free consulting, and then leave with no order after driving through traffic and going through all that? There's got to be a better way. We'll get more into that at another session. GUTS rules. We don't work for free. No free consulting, no more begging. We want to take on the role like any other professional. And I've studied successful people, and they believe that they're the doctor, the lawyer. They take on this role so people respect their time, knowledge, and energy, not someone who's just calling out of nowhere trying to sell aluminum siding. A lot of people emphasize rapport and bonding. I don't really believe in that. I believe people buy things today because they need them, because there's a need, a greed, a pain, an issue in their life, and they want to deal with it right away. We convert, as I said, all cold calls to warm. We don't give away, there's no more free lunch. There's no more getting in our car, giving in-person presentations, unless we know that this is a truly qualified prospect. How many of us have gotten into our car, driven through hours through traffic, and then discovered that, hey, this person doesn't have the money, this person is not going to be on time, and we stood there waiting around for them when they couldn't keep a simple commitment for an appointment. They never really needed our product. They never had the authority to give a commitment on the product. They didn't have the character to give a commitment on the product. These are all things we can take care of with these lovely little devices, phones and iPhones. Okay, so this is what the overview of the GUTS is going to teach you. Let's go to another page here. GUTS moves. We get our commitments up front from people. We call these tentative commitments. When should we discuss the money? Money should always be discussed up front in sales. But when do most people talk about money? They talk about it at the end. When do most people give their presentations? Up front. They give away all their hardcore information, and then the prospect might use that information to beat up your competition or get a better deal. Doesn't make much sense. We, a lot of times, get to what I call fire or reject the prospect. And sometimes, you know, I disagree with the philosophy of a lot of sales trainers who say, hey, everybody's a prospect, everybody's a customer. That's a lie. It's not true. A lot of people can't afford what you're selling, don't need what you're selling, just want free information. The successful, the millionaire salesperson is the one who works so smart and makes sure that they're working with that 20-25% who are truly qualified prospects. We've all heard of the Pareto rule, and this is where people, the 80-20 rule, 80% of your profits come from 20% of your customers. I kind of modified it. I believe it's more like 75-25 rule. I think that we need to eliminate the 75% that are not going to buy today. Maybe they'll buy tomorrow, which in this case, in another session, we'll talk about technology, where we have to have the technology to save this information. So Mr. or Mrs. Prospect who couldn't buy from you today because financially it wasn't feasible for them, and they call you back in 6 months. Don't you want to retrieve that information and talk about that first with them? Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Prospect, you couldn't, when we spoke 6 months ago, you didn't have the money. Has that changed before I answer your questions? Doesn't that make sense? So we talk about the money. Once again, high self-esteem. We feel good about ourselves, okay? I think this is one of the most important things I can stress to you, that in sales, you've got to put yourself number one. A lot of sales trainers are out there saying, do everything for the customer, the prospect, and they'll reward you later. They'll do everything for you. And I found this is not true. I found a lot of prospects, they picked my brain, they made me work very hard late at night, drafting proposals and things, and then they said, Claude, you're a great guy, but we gave it to the competition. Okay? So you can't do business like that and stay alive, much less get wealthy in sales. You have to have unmitigated gall. We call it chutzpah to the max. Sometimes you've got to do what we call guts moves. You got to step on their toes a little and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Prospect, you're saying maybe and probably a lot. What's it going to take for me to earn your trust and do business with you today? Sometimes you've got to make these strong moves. We're not servitude or subservient to the prospect, okay? When they go to their doctor, there's a certain level of respect. When they go to their accountant, same thing. When they go to their lawyer, any professional has to take the high road. I don't want the prospect talking down to me. I want an adult to an adult conversation. I want mutual respect and communication. And if they say no to me and we find out in the first couple of minutes, isn't that wonderful? We haven't wasted any more of our time, knowledge, and energy resources, okay? So once in a while, step on their toes. And if you're looking for friendship, like Harry Truman said, get a dog. Really? Sales is not about rapport and bonding and filling up your lonely hours. Sales is only about one thing, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what that is, and that's making this stuff. I'm sorry to be so direct, but I think it needs to be said, and I think you want to hear. You're in business to make money. Let's work smarter. Let's have a system. G.U.T.S is broken down to 3 sets of agenda, qualification, and close. The agenda is the early stage. We'll talk about that in later webinars. Basically, we set up the premise, a roadmap. We tell them what's going to happen before it happens. Hey, Mr. Prospect, Mr. Prospect, I want to help you. You mind if I ask you a few questions? It's okay for you to ask me questions too. And at the end of this, we'll find out if it's good enough for us to do business. And if we can't, and you don't think my product or service or price is comfortable, I want you to feel so comfortable you can say no to me up front. You don't have to tell me you'll think about it or get back to me later. I love doing this. Saves time. Sets up, I think, a trust basis for doing this business correctly. The second thing is qualification. Do they need our product? Do they have the money or the willingness to finance our product? Is it within the time frame? Do they need it now or do they need it 5 years from now? Believe me, I've had people ask me all these questions who had no intention of doing business today. And now, rule number 1, we are in business to make money today. Okay? I'll get to rule number 3, by the way, in a minute. It's called the $1 million rule. And so we need to commit. We need to qualify them on their commitment, the tentative or full commitment, the time, the money. What are their needs and greeds? We close them when we at the end, and that's where we give our presentation. That's what we do. What we do is satisfy and review. I like to call it. We confirm, we review, and we make them give us the order rather than tactlessly ask for it, like they all do. Mr. and Mrs. Prospect, I think my product or service could satisfy your needs. I believe we can work it within your budget. What would you like to do next? And it's okay to say no to me. And that's part of guts, having that gall to say, hey, folks, I think you need what I have. And I'm not going to force it on you. I'm not going to pressure you. But I think it makes sense here. If one adult talking to another adult, okay, I think you need what I'm selling. What would you like to do next? And at that point, they're either going to give you that commitment, or you're going to go back to the basics, or you're going to fire the prospect and wait, and maybe save them for another day. This is mature $1 million selling. Okay, here's our master staircase, goes into great details. We ask a lot of questions, and there's different ways to ask questions. This is a webinar in itself. We ask open questions, closed questions, ignorant questions. I'm not sure if I understand what you mean, Mr. and Mrs. Prospect. Or Mr. and Mrs. Prospect, what would be a comfortable price for you? Or Mr. and Mrs. Prospect, in a closed scenario, is this something you want to do today? Okay, we can give them a multiple choice. Mr. and Mrs. Prospect, my product or service can do several different things for you, A, B, or C. What do you think would be the best for you? So we can do a lot of things. We can use a lot of redirection or opposite redirection, and this is where we use really our strongest powers of persuasion, human behavior, psychological triggers. This is great and powerful stuff. Makes you feel good about yourself. You're in control. You're not winging it, and you don't sound like a tactless salesperson as far as that goes. Prospecting, very, very important in sales. We got to have more prospects than we need, because if we don't have enough prospects, what's going to happen? We're not going to go to the bank. One of the things I tell people in my mentoring program is you've got to make at least 5, 10 phone calls a day. You've got to send backup videos or iJot videos. I'll talk about that in a technological review someday, about how we save the information and how we follow up with prospects. I send video emails every day. I make phone calls every day. People make calls into me every day. We call that virtual attraction marketing. Very important. I do a lot of public speaking. I do things like these webinars in YouTube and Facebook and Twitters and all different kinds in eBay. Keep that phone ringing. As long as you're selling a good product or service and you're making enough money with that product or service and you're proud of what you're doing and you feel good about yourself, you go to the bank every day with guts. This is once again this final video, I believe. It's the final mind map, and this is in my package. I love using all these mind maps. I use them myself. I have them on my desk along with my 3-minute timer, and I keep it real organized. So this is a system, and I don't care if you're in creative real estate or whatever, that will get you to the bank more often. Okay, and so please feel free. Once again, like I said earlier, I answer my own phone, 1-800-324-4652. Let me show you how to make sales fun, how to make it profitable, how to feel great about yourself, and be totally free. And you know, my definition of freedom is that you could take everything away. And my wife and I have worked very hard at our business. We live very well in Colorado and California and other places. We are debt-free. Our mortgages are paid. My kids are taken care of with college and everything. We could have retired years ago, but this is too much fun. And the thing is, I did it by giving good phone. And that's what you've got to learn, no matter what you sell. And I promised I was going to tell you my most important rule, the $1 million rule. The $1 million rule is very simple, but it sounds simple, but it can be complicated, and it's the most important thing I teach. People make immediate, emotional, dispassionate decisions immediately, okay? When you're in business, you've got to find that need, greed, that trigger. They only justify it academically later on. People make most of their important decisions emotionally. So you've got to find that emotional trigger. We'll talk way more about that at another time. Once again, 800-324-4652. Real quick, if you're interested in any of my products, you could just simply go, I'll show you right here. Just go to eBay, and all you have to do to find me on eBay is just type in Claude Diamond Sales Training, and here's my packages, and I have a excerpt from my book and stuff like that, and we'll pay for the shipping and handling, and you'll get the little success timer. You'll get DVDs, movies that I've made of sales. You'll get audio files. You'll get my 2 books, The Mentor Teaches the Guts Sales Method and How to Sell with Guts, and you'll get all my mind maps. It's my little commercial. It's a great package. And also, since you saw this webinar, I do include, besides the free shipping, one free sales training session, usually no longer than 30 minutes. And all you have to do, we can do it on the phone, we can do it on Skype, and we can record it and turn sales around for you. Have fun with it. And, you know, remember, sales doesn't have to be uncomfortable. It's something where you can have a system, a modern contemporary system. You know, there's a lot of sales training and a lot of seminars out there, but they're complicated or they're old-fashioned. Let's deal with a 21st century system and see you go to the bank today. This is Claude Diamond saying thank you, and stay tuned. We'll send out more notifications of this video, and you guys get good phone today too. Bye-bye. Guys, just want to remind you once again, I got 10 of the G.U.T.S sales packages for half price on eBay right now, $297.50. Just have to type it in. Go to ebay.com and type in Claude Diamond Sales Training, or call our number 800-324-4652, and you can have the sales system. You can qualify your prospects in the first 3 minutes. You can have all the leads you want. You can make sales fun and in your control again. And just go to either eBay or give us a call. Hey, 1-800-324-4652. You have a great day. And remember, nobody deserves good selling more than you do. Bye-bye.